to be in Carolina in the morning.
High hopes, he's got high apple pie in the sky. Hope nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning.
Hi, I'm John Malos, and welcome to this edition, live on the showroom floor of Connect with Me. On this Monday morning, it's on the air, off the presses once again. And once again, we've got a guest in from Kmph, Fox 26 News. Your phone calls are important, 436-ME-TV, head option 11. Back in just a moment. And back again here on this Monday morning on the showroom floor at Ventura TV, live on Comcast, of course, at channel 187 and 43.6. And again, on the air, off the presses this morning. Of course, we have another guest in from Kmph Fox 26. Last week it was Ralph Wood. You believe Ralph Wood has been in this market for the better part of 32 years, the longest running sportscaster in the history of Fresno. Started his career, of course, here in Fresno at Channel 47 and then ended up at Kmph Fox 26 where he is now. And today we have his cohort, sits right next to him. Here he is, comes into your living room Monday through Friday every night at 10 o'clock.
Students and teachers, is there something going on at your school you'd like to let your hometown know about? Well, we can help you with that, and it's free. We now have websites dedicated to many of the communities in the Kmph news viewing area, such as North Fresno. And it doesn't matter if you're a student. We want to know what your clubs and community organizations are doing as well. Just write a story about the event and email it to Kmph news producer Winston Whitehurst. There he is. His email address is whitehurst@kmph.com. We will give you credit for your story on your community website and on kmph.com.
And there he is, live in our studio now is Monty Torres, the main anchor Monday through Friday at Kmph Fox 26. We're going to talk to him today about a number of things going on in the media and certainly around the world and certainly this city. Remember Measure G not too long ago? A lot of controversy there. We'll talk to him about that and a few other things. Your phone call is important, 436-ME-TV. Remember, you don't have to listen to the message if you don't want to. Just hit option 11 as soon as possible, 11 on your telephone. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back with our guest, Monty Torres, in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean Dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
And we're back. Monty Torres is back too. How are you, Monty?
Good, John. Good to see you again.
Hey, thanks for
My
showing
pleasure.
up. I appreciate it. You've been here, what, 3 times now?
I think it's
3 or
about
4
3 times, yeah.
Good to see you. What's new?
Let's see, I've got a new co-anchor since I was last year, Ashley Ritchie.
Yeah, she's working out pretty good, it seems.
She's working great. I've worked with her for about 5 years now. She's been at the station. You know, she's a local girl. She's from Visalia, born and raised.
Yeah.
So it's been great to see her, have the opportunity to become my co-anchor after Anna's departure. Anna Laurel went back to Raleigh, where her family is. Mm-hmm. So she's delighted to be there too, because she's near her parents now. But we've been having a great time. Like I said, I've known Ashley since she first arrived at the station about 5 years ago. So it's been a really smooth, very easy transition.
Yeah, and she's due with a second child.
Yes, she is. We're all congratulated her. She is due. October, I think, is the month.
Right.
So she's coping with all the difficulties between now and then, but she's doing great. She's doing great.
How about yourself now? You've been there what now? How many years?
About 7.5 years.
7.5 years.
Yeah.
You were there prior because I worked with you for a couple of years before you left and you went to Florida. So all told, what? It's been about 9 years?
Well, we put all together about 9, yeah, probably about 9 years, yeah.
Yeah, you're getting up there.
Shh, that's a secret.
You're getting up there.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
So the last time you were here, we didn't have a chance to talk about the outcome of Measure G because it was quite a while ago. I saw the debate that you had with Susan Anderson and, of course, the mayor.
Right.
That was on what, Channel 59, I believe.
Yes.
Good debate. It was a.
It actually had on Kmph as well. We had it on 2 different airings.
Okay. What do you make of this whole thing? I mean, it came down to, you know, the yes thought they had it. We have it. We have it. No, we don't have it. It's
you saw how close it was.
Yeah.
Leading most of the evening, then gradually whittling away as the other votes were counted and the absentee ballots and such. And then finally, I don't think it was the next morning before they realized that, or the day after that, they realized that Measure G didn't make it.
Yeah.
And you know,
but the yes people, they were claiming foul. They held up the vote count. Remember, there were some questions about the verification of the signatures, and they held that up. And then there were 600 absentee ballots, I think, that were up for question or debate.
Right.
Yet the no side still came out on top, despite all the protests.
Fait accompli, it's done. You know, Measure G is, as we had reported, dead at this point. Some would say that maybe the mayor's reputation has taken a bit of a beating because of that. I don't know that it is. She's still who she is, and she's still likable as a mayor, but you know, she wasn't able to push it through.
Well, you read the article in the paper about her. George Hofstadter wrote it about, 2 weeks ago, talking about her reputation and her stature now. Is she a weakened politician, do you think?
Well, anytime you back something that loses, I mean, that seems to take the shine off your star a bit. But I mean, she's so capable on a personal level and connecting through the media to the voters. But as we discussed earlier, you know, she has termed out too. So the question is, when you talk about will it weaken her ability to function as mayor between now and the end of her term, I don't think so. After all, it really was a close fight. And then the question after that is, what's next for her? I don't know. She hasn't made those plans public at this point. So we have to wait to see it. She's still very capable. She's still extremely good in front of the cameras and in front of the public. So, you know,
the question is, can she govern?
Well,
as a politician,
I think the biggest problem with her having to govern is not so much the losing, backing a losing measure, but it's what it means, which is that it throws her into the back to dealing with this terrible problem with the budget, the city budget, and it's going to be an uncomfortable solution no matter which way they turn at this point. I mean, they're looking at ways that they have to cut back personnel and or services one way or the other. So it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be popular no matter what she does.
Right. She is a conservative, I assume a Republican, I guess you could say. If she has any political aspirations beyond Fresno, has her star diminished because of Measure G?
Well, that's a good question, and it's a question that only the voters decide in whatever election she runs again for. I tend to think, would her detractors, her opponents, use the whole Measure G thing against her? Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's political football in that respect, but.
And they'll use the budget against her too.
Well, they will. Although I don't know if that's entirely fair, because I mean, she's not the only one. She didn't create the deficit that she inherited as mayor and by herself. And you have the economic situation in the country that many contributors to that. But she's governing in a difficult time. It would be difficult for anybody to govern in this economic climate. So I don't hold that against her.
Right. How about this Viadec race? Andy Viadec, of course, against Leticia Perez. Viadec had it in the bag, at least he thought. Again,
another close one.
You know, you can mirror this close to Measure G, and here comes Perez out of nowhere, and now we're going to have another runoff. You
know, on the night of the election, I was toward the end of the evening, I was totaling up all the other candidates who were Democrats, and Viadec was the only Republican. As I recollect, anyway. And I totaled up all those votes, and I still didn't seem to notice that Viadec still seemed to be considerably in the lead. And no other candidate in an election will gather all the votes like that. They won't all go to Perez. but it's what happens between now and then. And it does seem as if Leticia Perez is putting on a very strong push with her Democratic support right now. So it's hard to determine which way that will go either, but that's what makes close elections so exciting.
436-ME-TV, option 11 is our phone number here. How do you think this affects our city, all these political fights, the Measure G, the Videk-Perez thing? Does it have a positive or a negative effect on our city? That obviously we have a lot of problems here. More so than most cities around the state, I think.
I think more disturbing, though, is that the problems are there. I mean, life has problems to them. And to the extent that they bring people involved in trying to come up with solutions, that's good. However, the Measure G, for example, the Measure G vote, not very many people came out and turned out for that. So
low turnout.
Very low turnout. So that's not I think that's a more disturbing sign than anything else, that there's the apathy or the voter apathy in getting involved.
But even during the general election, Monty, we don't get that big a turnout. I mean, the last general election in the Central Valley, they just don't turn out for whatever reason.
Yeah, and that's a little distressing.
Yeah, and I don't know what the reason is. I don't think anybody does.
No.
I don't know. Maybe they're fed up. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Anyway, we're talking to Monty Torres of Kmph Fox 26. He's the main Monday through Friday anchors with Ashley Ritchie. And your telephone calls are important. 436-ME-TV, hit option 11. You don't have to wade through the message. Back in just a moment.
I'm Lou Grant. Mary asked me to do a promo for ME-TV.
You want to see me, Lou?
Not now, Ted. Watch me on...
Danish donut?
I said not now, Ted. Watch me on ME-TV.
You don't like me? I'll fire you.
Watch Mary Tyler Moore, and I'll fire you.
ME-TV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
Meow.
And we're back. 436-ME-TV, hit option 11. Hit option 11 immediately. Hit 11 on your telephone and you'll get right through to Monty. I promise we'll put you on the air. Monty, a lot of stories that you cover at KMPH. You guys do a great job. But I want to ask you about, I know you I haven't really delved into this topic much, but there was an article written, of course, in the Fresno Beat by Mark Arax recently talking about poverty. What can we do about it? I mean, there are a lot of people, especially in the Central Valley, that go without.
This is not to be a flippant answer, but it's the best answer I can give, and that is we do the best we can, and I do believe the answer.
What can we do about it? Well, I don't have an answer. I don't know.
No, I don't either. And if you want, I want to go back to the Gospels where Jesus also says, "The poor you will always have with you," and that doesn't mean you don't. You do the best you can.
Do you ignore them, or do you help them?
You give what you help.
Okay.
To the extent that you can. You give what you can, but I do favor and think it should be on a person-to-person level rather than the government instituted level. I mean, the government's going to play its part and do these things too, but there's something more to be had and shared person-to-person when you can extend a helping hand. That's an actual act of goodwill and charity, not some governmental bureaucracy.
But there are some people that do need government help, people who can't help themselves, but how do you help the people who don't want help? That's the question, too. There are a lot of people that don't, they just refuse it. They want to live in the state that they're in.
That's true. And maybe their families or close associates know them better to know what you can do. All you can do is the best you can in terms of if you have something to give and to share that you can afford to part with and give and share, then you do that.
It's unfortunate that this area of the Central Valley seems like there is a lot more poverty, though, than there is in the rest of the state of California. They call this the Appalachia, the West, for good reason, I guess. I don't know. Well, and I don't think it's because we're ignoring anybody.
Well, part of it's on the nature of the economy of the Central Valley being an agrarian, agricultural industry, and so, and then the seasonality of the jobs. So that's going to create some of that problem as we know it.
Got a phone call coming in. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Hi. We're seeing a lot of familiar faces on television journalism going away here because of the mergers, I guess, recently, and Anna Laurel, co-anchor with Monty for a good long time. How's she doing? That's part of my question. Have you heard anything? What kind of position did she get out there in Raleigh?
Sure.
And of course, I think the chemistry between Ashley and Monty is pretty top drawer, and I just wanted to commend Monty on that. And I noticed that John touched upon poverty. This seems like it's going to be a weight dangling from the ankle of Mayor Swearingen. It's kind of a black eye, not like Measure G, or maybe it is like Measure G. Can you comment, Monty?
Sure.
Poverty.
Happy to. Well, let me deal with each of those in the order you gave them. Number one, Anna Laura's doing great. She's in Raleigh now. It's close to, her family lives there, so they see her all the time. She had missed them from being on the West Coast. She loves the West, but she does like being close to her family again, and she's doing very well. Ashley is great to work with. I've known her for the full 5 years she's been there, and it's been terrific working with her. She's just a great coworker.
Why do you have such good chemistry with her?
Well, I've known her for a long time, for 5 years, like I said, and I was part of the group that hired her when we brought her in.
Yeah.
And she's just what you see is what you get. Ashley's very straightforward, very natural, very, you know.
But it seems like a natural type of chemistry between you two.
It pretty much is.
It's not propped up or phony or fake. It's real.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just a very comfortable fit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like all my co-anchors, and I do my best to do the best I can with all of them. Maybe it's the direction of her thoughts and her comments that are different. We're all, you know, come from different backgrounds and have different insights. We just seem to connect pretty well in that respect. And now, as to poverty, you know, I just as I was telling John, I don't have any answers apart from that. You do what you can see to do. You share what you have to share that you can. In the context of each of our personal positions, I think it's an insoluble problem. At least here, it's never been solved in the history of the world. Can the situation be eased? Maybe, if the economy is going again. Maybe, you know, the best solution is to get our economy, both locally and nationally, going again in a way that could lift that. That in itself is a monumental problem, though.
Yeah, I think the article here by Mark Arax says that poverty we pretend not to see, like we're turning a blind eye. And I don't think anybody is turning a blind eye or ignoring it like it's not there. We know it's there. How do you deal with it? Like Ashley Swearingen, the mayor, has this problem with the homeless. They keep moving from point A to point B to point C. How do you solve that? You know, I mean, it's a tough question.
You know, if anybody knew for sure how to solve that, they would. I mean, in Los Angeles, downtown LA, if you saw the size of the homeless problem down there, you'd be shocked. I was when I saw that.
Right.
I don't know that there is a single answer. And then again, in that population, there's a subgroup you mentioned who don't seem to want to go into any house or housing. You put them someplace and they leave. So about that, you don't want to imprison them.
You have the issue of substance abuse, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs.
Sure.
So just a myriad of problems. Anyway, another call. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Yeah. Good morning, John. Listen, to Monty, okay, first, are you going to run for office? Possibly. I want to stay on the line for just a minute. There's several questions.
I'll vote for you.
I might have 2 votes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you don't run, what does it take for what are the qualifications to be a mayor? I mean, that's what this should be a college graduate or just plain common sense nowadays, or hopefully a conservative. That's what we're looking for every time. But last question, Monty, how long have you been in Fresno so far?
Okay. Well,
and are you getting adjusted to Fresno life here? It's a challenging city, but it's a good city.
Yes.
Okay. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate all those questions. Number one, no, I'm not planning to run for political office.
You saw what happened to Rich Rodriguez.
Well, true.
He ran and lost.
I've been in the Valley for 7.5 years now. This is my second tour. I was here for about a year, a little more, about 16, 17 years back. And I love the Valley. I love everything that's here. I'm only 4 hours away from my parents and family in Southern California, but I'm not in the traffic of Southern California or San Francisco, which I'm glad not to be in that sort of traffic. I had enough of that. I like all the things we have access to here, from Yosemite and the mountains to the beaches just a couple hours away. Love the fresh produce and fruits and vegetables here. I I couldn't be more committed in the sense that my whole family's here. All my 6 kids are here. So we are committed to the Valley. We love the Valley. We're here. And we enjoy
All
it
your
very
kids
much.
are here.
All of them.
They haven't moved out. Huh?
Well, actually, I have one that was in school in Utah who recently got a job and
Okay.
is staying there in Utah for that. But she was just here this weekend.
Yeah.
So she keeps coming back, and she's now wanting to come back here again.
Right.
So I'm very committed to the Valley, adjusted well to it, love it here, enjoying very much. I come from a political family. My dad was mayor and city councilman in the city of Monterey Park in the San Gabriel Valley for about 12 years. So I went, knocked on doors with him, and did all that sort of
So
thing.
you never thought about running, huh?
I can't grow up with a dad who's in politics without having been told and having been thought about it. I'm sure I thought about it, but you know how it is for one thing in broadcasting. You can't do that and do your job at the same time.
Yeah, you can't be partial.
No, also you have to leave. You have to get off air if you're going to do something like that, and I'm not prepared to do anything like that at this point.
Right. Well, Rich came back.
Yes.
Ran for office as a Republican, of course, against Cal Dooley, I believe.
Yes. And,
but kind of a rare thing.
Well, and I don't think he came back immediately. I think there was a little bit of a gap there. So you have to be set up so you're ready to be able to do something else in that meantime. This is how I take care of my family, and so I wouldn't be prepared to leave on-air work to run for political office, whether I succeed or not, and see what happens there. Anyway, is it always something that could happen in the future? Possibly, we'll see.
Yeah,
God
you
willing,
never know.
I'll say
Don't
my
ever say
prayers.
no.
I'll talk to people, and we'll see. But for the immediate future, the near term, I don't see that right now. But thanks for your vote. I'll keep that in mind for the future.
Well, you got 2 votes here. I'd vote for you.
Okay, John, I'm going to write that down. We got that on tape, right?
That's right. No, it's rolling. The tape's rolling. Don't worry. All right. One of the good guys, one of the easiest guys to work with. I know I work with him at Kmph, and a very genuine person. Monty Torres of Kmph. Time for another break. We're back. 436 MeTV. Option 11, hit 11 ASAP. Back in a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified, ready, steam equipped, high efficiency Frigidaire affinity place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Frigidaire laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Back with Monty Torres, and your phone calls, 436 MeTV, option 11 on this Monday, on the air, off the presses. Monty, I want to ask you, of course, it's been in the news a lot lately. We read Rick Bentley's column, obviously weekly. You know, we know about 24 and 47. Nexstar bought both, okay? Consolidation is the big key word in broadcasting now, and now 26 bought out by Sinclair, right?
Yes.
What does that mean for you guys over there?
First of all, Sinclair is, nominally it's Chesapeake Broadcasting, which is affiliated with Sinclair, and I think financed by Sinclair. So that's who the buyer is, but it's Chesapeake is, as I understand it, connected to and perhaps some sort of spin-off from Sinclair. So yes, our station has been purchased. It doesn't mean anything for us.
Has it been approved yet, or no?
No, that won't be finalized till October, so I'm told.
All right. Well, what does that mean for KMPH? Are we going to get the same KMPH, the same people, or we don't know yet?
Well, obviously, we don't know yet. We don't know yet because the management team from Sinclair hasn't come down. We're not hearing anything. What we do know is that they like KMPH, they like our product. We're a successful station and a successful newsroom. So they want to continue doing more of the same, and that's a good sign. Still, until the players are in place, you don't really know what's going to happen, what will change, what won't change. But we've had those positive signs that, if anything, they're going to back us and help us continue growing and moving in the directions we've been moving because we are a successful show.
Now, are they a company that they own other stations around the country?
Oh my gosh, yes. They own
everything, don't they?
About 140 stations at last count.
Wow.
I mean, they are one of the largest owners of stations in the country. Most of those stations are below top 10 markets. Like, you know, I think Tampa is the largest they might own now, although I think I recently read they're in the possibility of purchasing a station in D.C. So,
and what's their history of just leaving things as is, pretty much, as long as it's making money?
No, I can't say that. I don't know. I've never worked for a Sinclair station, so I don't know what. I know that they're a station. I've heard that they're a station group with conservative leanings. I've heard that in the past. They used to run regular editorials through their group. This was many years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens anymore. But they are a large organization. I don't know if you can easily get that large without being. You've got to know what you're doing, I would imagine, and do it well.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm sure they count their beans.
I would think so.
If they're that large.
And as we spoke earlier too, many station groups seem to be acquiring stations as part of the spectrum auction the government plans to hold. We spoke a little bit about that, where the government may be auctioning off some of the spectrum, broadcast spectrum, for the purposes of mobile services to expand that area.
I just wonder though, so much consolidation in broadcasting with both radio, TV. What's happened in newspaper. It's almost, newspapers are almost a thing of the past now.
Right.
But let's take this call first, and we'll get back to that question. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Yes, I've got a question for Mr. Torres.
Yeah, go ahead.
The question is, to go to the broadcasting news, what is your education level required for that? And does he believe in higher education?
Okay. Well, did you say, do I believe in higher education?
Yes. Does Mr. Torres believe in education, high-level education, and what is the level to be a broadcaster in education?
Okay, absolutely, I believe in education. It's a value, it's a virtue. It's to go to hard work and to learn something in a particular field so you can contribute is very important. And yes, I believe in it very much. I encourage and support. My children are in college right now. At least three of them are. Three of them are too young yet. But as far as the level of education, I always heard that you go through school, you get a college degree. Could be in communication, could be in journalism, could be in English. Now, as to whether or not is that required, well, there are some markets where. Well, let's take, for example, Peter Jennings and some of the others. He was not a college graduate, as I understand, as I recollect.
No,
and so it's not a requirement.
High school grad.
Right. So it's not a requirement, depending upon your skill set and your talent level, and if you can impress your employers enough to be hired without that degree. But I would say, of course, as in most things, the degree and the education level is certainly an asset, but there's somebody with determination and talent and persistence able to still go forward and make for themselves a place in this business. I believe so. It's been shown that that's happened.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank
you for asking.
Appreciate your time. Quickly, we're almost out of time. Consolidation. Why in broadcasting? Why is it happening?
Consolidation happens in everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's in every business now.
Big fish come along and eat smaller fish and grow. That happens. I don't know whether to say it's a better or a worse thing.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing for broadcasting?
Well, we started off as 13 colonies and became 50 states. And in terms of business, there seem to be efficiencies in growing. Then there's some downsides, too. There's worries about monopolies and all. All we can say is we have to see how it plays out, John.
All right. Turn to the monitor here, Monty. And you were on the great day just not too long ago playing with the Mariachi Band. I want to play this before we have to run out of time.
sabes de pura tierra mojada.
I'm not used to seeing that.
You know what?
Give us a demonstration. Can you do that right now? Come on.
No, I can't do it right
We
now.
got 30 seconds.
Listen,
Give
that
me
was a
10
rare
second.
privilege. I had never sung with mariachis before. It's a blast. I mean, there's no more festive music than mariachi music. To have that privilege to go sing with them like that. Although, I'll tell you what the challenge was, is to sing like that early in the morning. Our voices don't work that well.
But that, I mean, that's more than just singing in the shower, my friend. You got a good voice.
Well, I'm loud and I'm exuberant.
What a voice! What a voice! I don't have that. I don't have that. Anyway, got to go. We're out of time. You know we'll get cut off if we don't leave. Monty, you're one of the good guys. Come back anytime, please. All right, appreciate it. Monty Torres of KMPH Fox 26. You can catch him Monday through Friday live at 10 o'clock on the KMPH 10 o'clock news. Back with the Focus on Business tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.